everybody, this is Bacter, and I've got an update I wasn't really expecting to make here, but I think it fits really well into this Duskers Let's Play. Dungeon of the Endless is an old favorite game of mine. I guess it's not so old, but it's one of those games I keep coming back to. It's just enjoyable. It's just a lot of fun for me to play, and I wouldn't have thought to include it in Duskers necessarily, but I saw it described recently. Somebody said if you like Dungeon of the Endless, you'll like Duskers, or it might have been the other way around. I think it was the way I said. You know, somebody was talking about Duskers, and this was a review online. They said if you like Dungeon of the Endless, you might like Duskers, and I never would have connected the two games, but I really see where they're coming from. They both have elements of exploration, of risk and reward, and of trying to scavenge materials to survive. So this is an interesting little game, and I'm just going to show it off a little bit. It's a roguelike in a way. It's sort of it has roguelike elements at least, and it's kind of too samey for me to have done a full Let's Play of it. But I still feel like I wanted to show it off, just because again, old favorite game. I'm gonna talk about the gameplay and the details as you go into it, but right at the beginning I'll mention this is part of the Endless series. There's a whole bunch of like tactical games that are, I don't know if they're hex-based or real-time or whatever, but there's this whole series of games about the Endless universe, and I actually don't know a whole lot about them. I've really only played this game exhaustively, but you know, so if you know more about that universe, you might know more about this. I've got some add-ons for the thing. Just here on the beginning, you can do this multiplayer. I found it to be really buggy, but, you know, give it a shot if you want to. Album, as you play the game more, you'll unlock various pictures, which is neat, and they give you little bits about the lore, but let's just go ahead and jump in. There's going to be a short, not very informative intro sequence, but let's just watch that. Prison ship, attack. I like how every shot that goes off, you lose a bunch of prisoners. And, so there were 295 prisoners when the thing crashed. There are about to be significantly more, and we're now in an escape pod. There are other choices of pods that we can pick, all of which have their own unique, intros. We're just gonna go with the basic pod to begin with. You notice that most of the heroes, start off as locked. And I actually thought I had locked all of them. I tried to reset my data. There's not an in-game reset, so you have to delete some files, and apparently not all of it took. Some of these are special edition characters. Obviously, you can see some Team Fortress dudes in there. And Rescue Squad, I think, are these three. I kind of don't like that they're here, but I don't turn them off either, so whatever. The point is, you pick your heroes, and as you saw, we were on a prison ship, and only the few people that you pick basically made it to a pod and escaped. First off, I just want to say I like the graphics. I'm still a sucker for pixel art, so that's a thing there. But there's three kinds of people that you can play as. And I don't know if they actually tell you, right? Well, there's many different ways of dividing up your characters. But there are prisoners, there are guards, and there are natives. And so here we see an example. Max O'Kane here is a prisoner. Sarah Numas is a obvious pastiche on Samus Aran, I think, but is a guard, and these fellas down here, Kriyang, is a native, or whatever. As well, people have different scores and different things. There's health that that's pretty obvious, speed, which is pretty obvious, attack, which is pretty obvious, and wit, which is something that will come up more as we play along. But let's play just the prototypical 1-2 character start. Now, this is not actually the best characters to start with, because guards get a bonus when they're with other guards, and prisoners likewise get a bonus when they're with other prisoners. But, whatever, this is just sort of the prototypical 1-2. So we'll be Max, we'll be Sarah. They both have, actually all the characters have some pretty neat lore and backstories and whatnot that go along with them. You notice that the difficulty is too easy and easy. Don't believe it for a minute. This is like medium and hard, is the way we should probably interpret this. The game is difficult. But whatever, let's jump right in. I skip past these scenes so often, I've just never seen them again. After the very first time. This is a game you will have to repeat, and it's very unlikely that I'm actually going to make it alive out of this. Nevertheless, let's get started. So here we are on our crashed ship. We have our two heroes. Here is Max, here is Sarah. You can see Sarah has one power already, Runaway, which is giving her a bunch of speed. Use your powers often in the game. That's one thing that I am not good at even still. There is no penalty to use them. It doesn't use any resources to use a power. There's just a cooldown on them. And so, you know, whenever you can, you want to be using them. You notice up here we have three resources. There's industry, science, and food. Food is what you use to heal and upgrade your characters. In the mode that we're playing right now, anytime we survive a battle, we will instantly heal back to full, but you can heal mid-battle by opening up your thing and smacking the heal button here. You can't heal if you're at full life, which is good, or else I would have wasted 3 food, but whatever. You can also level up your characters by collecting more food. Science helps you research stuff, and we'll get into that in a bit. And industry helps you build stuff. We'll also get into that in a bit too. Notice here we have dust. Dust is a really big deal in the Endless Universe. The only thing I know about it is that it's power. So you can select both your heroes, and let's open this door. Opening a door is the major action that you take in the Dungeon of the Endless Universe, because it opens up a new room. Rooms are not by default powered, and you power a room by using 10 dust. So I can power one more room. Powered rooms can do a bunch of things. You can build a module in a powered room, and modules give you more something per turn, or they help you do something. So I have a prisoner prod right now. Prisoner prod is a basic attack module. I can plop this in a room, and anytime an enemy comes in, it'll zap them with a little laser. There's also defensive modules and support modules. All of them are excellent for different builds, but right away, what I want is more industry. You gotta spend money to make money. Modules build really slow if you're being attacked, and they build rather more quickly if you're not. Everything goes super speed if you're not being attacked, which is nice because there's no, danger to waiting for it, basically. So, because we have two different characters and they move at two different speeds, Max here is a little slower and Sarah's a little faster. Sarah's going to be, by default, my scout. She's going to run around and open the doors, and the reason for that is she can pretty much rush back. Now, monsters, every time a door is opened, look at that, I got 8 dust so I can power this room. Monsters can spawn every time you open a door, and monsters have a chance to spawn from every unpowered room, but they will never spawn from a powered room. So as you can see, you really want your rooms to be powered. And, I gotta figure out which way I want to go, basically, from here on out. So I think I'm gonna... I don't really have a set strategy down for which way I go, I just kind of go here and there. Oh, there we go. Here's our first monsters. These little guys just zap at you. Broadly speaking, there are, I'd say 3 kinds of monsters, just in general. They're monsters which preferentially attack the heroes, and will ignore major modules, like these 3 ones are major modules here, and ignore major modules and minor modules. There are monsters that will rush past you and try to get to the crystal and attack the crystal. Every time they attack the crystal, you lose dust until you're down to 0 dust, then the crystal breaks and you lose the whole game. So that's obviously bad. And then there are monsters which will attack the modules. Some monsters will only attack major modules and will ignore minor modules like these. Some monsters will attack any module they see, you'll get more of a handle on it as you keep going. So, let's pick one of these ways and keep going. Very next turn here. This is good, we like dead ends. Dead ends. Ooh, and this room is pre-powered. That's not super common, but always very nice when you see it. Earlier levels tend to be nicer about that than later levels. And let's build a second module in here. Let's get ourselves some food. Extra food coming in a turn. You see that took me from 4 food a turn to 7 food a turn. Now, notice up here, by our character portraits, that Max's icon has now gone green. That means we have enough food to level up Max. We've leveled him up, and he got a new active skill, Verbal Abuse. It gives everybody in the room an offensive and defensive bonus. So this is good for big scraps, when all the monsters are coming at you and you need to defend a room. That's really good to use. Sarah's power, Runaway, is excellent for getting out of sticky situations. Notice she also has a passive skill, which is defense plus 10% when grouped with others they trust. That means other guards, so she does not get to use that. Max, likewise, has Pack of Dogs, which is a 6% attack power when their mates are nearby, i.e. when another prisoner is nearby. And Endless Expert. This is really good because he is giving us 2 extra science every door we open, which is great. Okay, so we've got a food module, we've got a industry module. We're just going to be saving up. Nice, there was an item in here. We're going to be saving up to get a science module. Now we've got kitchen gloves. Kitchen gloves they have this little wrench, which means they fit the item slot, the utility slot. Most heroes can take some kind of a weapon, armor, and the utility slot. There are heroes that break that mold. Some of them can't equip weapons, some of them can only equip 3 utility things, etc., etc. But regardless, kitchen gloves give you a boost to your attack power. And since I'll probably give them to Sarah because she'll be doing a lot of punching, I will take those off her if I find something that boosts, say, her speed or something like that. Okay. Normally, I would save my money and not build prisoner prods necessarily, but let's keep expanding outwards, and I'll show those off here. So, here come some enemies. Notice those fly guys there. They are nasty because they will attack major modules if no hero is in the room. So in other words, they won't attack minor modules, they'll fly right by them. But if I had, say I have this food thing in here, if this room was unpowered and a fly came through, it would start attacking the major module until it was destroyed, then I'd have to rebuild it. Heroes regain all of their health between combats, whereas major modules do not. Some heroes gain the ability to repair them, minor modules too, but until that time they just take damage and, until they're all out and then they die. Let's get back here. Sarah is doing more damage now. The nice thing about these flies is if there are heroes, they will preferentially attack the hero rather than the module, so our modules aren't taking damage. Okay. So we've got a 2-front thing. This is the tactical map. You'll end up using it quite a lot as you go along, as the maps get more complicated. Usually, I'll be honest, the first floor is a little bit better set up than this, and I am not entirely sure where I'm going to put my science module. Probably up in here, I guess. So let me head down here. I think next turn I will have enough industry to build the sucker. I do. I don't want to use my tactical map too much. It's very pretty, but it also means you can't see this scenery. And I'll be honest, the graphics are a major reason I like this game. Very good looking. Alright, Science Creator it is. In you go. Now we're getting 7 science a turn, and the most that I can, I'm going to be hoarding industry for the rest of my time in here. So what did we get? 2 items on the first floor is really good. Guard uniform is good defense, but you can see it slows people down. That means it's a good candidate to give to Max, because Sarah is really all about speed. I don't want to be slowing her down. Okay. Hostile creatures. I know I said I was saving. You can see everything builds much more slowly when monsters are coming. But I do kind of want to take, to blend this attack here. This is just a little level 1, nothing. You can still see it did an appreciable amount of damage to that guy. Now, Sarah's got enough food to level up, so we'll give her level 2. You see next level she's going to earn another passive skill, which is great. There is one passive skill which is, in my estimation, much more important than all the others, so we will talk about that more when we get it, I suppose. I think these little zappers a turn isn't too bad. A lot of my playstyle, especially when using the basic module like this, is what I call the care and maintenance of the hell way. It's a bit like a hallway, but you power it up as much as possible, and then you absolutely fill it with traps. Okay, here's the exit. The goal of the whole level is to have one of your heroes grab this thing, the power core, and get it here. All monsters will continually start to spawn once you pick it up. All doors will also open. Monsters will still not spawn from powered rooms, but they will spawn from any unpowered rooms that you have. So, for instance, if you're able to power every room in a level, which is not common, let me tell you, then you can just grab this thing and at your leisure walk to the end, because no monsters are going to spawn. Okay, these guys are more hero attackers, and they are real nasty. So let me give myself that defensive bonus. See if I can kill one of them. Get back in there, Sarah. There. My word, that was closer than I'd like it to be. And without his verbal abuse bonus, I should have cracked that right away. But without it, I would have been toast for sure. So those guys are dedicated anti-hero enemies. They will run past this to come attack you. And they are just real jerks, as you can tell. There's still two things I'm looking for in this first level, and I know this is a lot right off the bat, but I promise it'll get simpler as we go along. I want to have a bit of a industry left over at the end, as I say, and that there's a simple reason for that. It's that I want enough tools, I want enough industry to quickly build myself all the major modules when I get to the next level. And the reason is simple. Is this going to be... Yep, that's a real bummer. I didn't find this until the very last door. So it goes. So this is one of the two last things I was hoping to show off this level. This is a research crystal. And I've got more than enough modules, and honestly none of this stuff looks that good, so maybe I didn't mind that I didn't find it. I'm going to reset researches. Basically, you can get yourself new modules if you find a crystal, and they all take a certain amount of time. They take 3 turns to research, and you pay a certain amount of science for each of them. And each of these modules does something neat. So Pepper Spray, targeted monster attacks the other monsters during 6 seconds. This rat control flavoring drives monsters to attack each other and makes them taste good. See, it sprays pepper is the joke. Most of them have some kind of wacky joke like that. There is what you would think would be tear gas. It is in fact tear gas. It opens up tiny microscopic holes in the whatever the fabric of the universe. Funny stuff like that. I like it. Claymore is okay. It attacks everybody. It's kind of too slow to matter. We're going to hit that reset. And Neurostun is good in Dustfield. Dustfield is a defense for heroes, and Neurostun is it slows enemies. In general, I like to try to buff the attack modules to create the Hellway. However, having these guys, these two, defense and support, for your home are really, really good for like your center room. You'll tend to have one central room, like this one, which is just sort of the choke point. See, everything's powered behind it, so no monsters are going to surprise us. And we've got, just whatever we can in here to make it good and habitable. Now, we've actually got enough food for a 3rd level up. And I could level up Max, but Sarah seems like she's going to get a passive ability. So let's hit that and level her up. And look at that, she has repair. So now, any modules that are damaged but not destroyed can be repaired between turns, which is excellent. That is really good. Now I'm depowering a lot of these rooms to try, successfully as it turns out, to power my complete way to the end module there. Rooms that come pre-powered, you can't unpower, so that's fine. Okay, gonna grab this crystal, and we are gonna march together away. See, the music immediately changes, and monsters, as I say, continually spawn. Now, you only need to survive. As soon as you make it to here, you get this green button, and as soon as you click the button, you turn invincible, all the monsters pause, and then they all just get exploded. 13 minutes on that first stage. It was a long stage, but that's just because I was explaining everything. And I ended up with 34 industry, 80 science, and no food. So, some heroes have history with each other, and you will get special dialogue between floors. Max and Sarah have no particular history. So, we got 2 ways to go here. And we're gonna go up. So there's still more to... Good 10 dust is great. That's a free-powered room. You will get less and less starting dust as you advance per room. So we're going to start off with an industry generator, just because that's the smart play. And for these first few areas, I'm going to have everybody go together. Just to tell me, wow, 10 dust in the first 2 rooms, that's incredible. I might have seen a crystal in here. Crystals are enemies that ignore everything except the center crystal that they slowly float towards. You want to kill them because if they get all the way to your home crystal, then obviously everybody has a bad time. Okay. I really like the atmosphere and the environment. See, those there are the crystals. Like what I mentioned. One other thing is, all the heroes have a particular weapon that they use. So Max here uses pistols, and Sarah uses swords. They cannot equip different kinds of weapons. They only know how to use one kind of weapon per. So I'm just kind of trying to get myself a little breathing room. Every extra room that you have is, first off, potentially a dead end like this one, which is great. Let's pop that attack and defense bonus here. Finish off everybody quickly. And these extra rooms are obviously good because you can build major modules in them without risk. But every room that you get between you and the potentially long corridors in the future. Oh, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Is another room that you can set up attack stuff in. Another peg in the hellway, so to speak. Okay, so what we have here is another survivor of the crash, and this is Warden Mormish. He's floating in this anti-grav chair. It's pretty cool, and he's one of the ones that I would like to have on my team because he has a bunch of neat abilities, and one of them we won't discuss until he's a little bit higher level, but it completely changes the way that at least I play the game. So let's just set up some of these. It'll give me another turn before I get to science, which is a bit of a bummer, but I'm kind of flush on science anyway. Okay. Extra industry is always nice. That's free industry there. And I think I have the requisite food. It costs food to hire a hero. Now, I haven't unlocked Mormish yet, so to speak, so I couldn't have picked him to begin with. Starts off at level 2, as I say, which is nice. And, we'll see, once we level him up again, maybe it'll take 2 times, but he's got a passive skill, which is, he gets faster, he attacks faster, at least if he's not alone in the room, and he has this War Profiteer, which is really good. He's really good to put in a choke point, because, he attacks a bit slower, but monsters are much more likely to drop dust when they die, which is obviously incredible. So, we're going to put him down there, we're going to put Max up top, and then we're just going to kind of bounce between the two of them. Am I able to afford? I am. A science replicator. If you put a module down by mistake, you can dynamite it, but it does, I think you either only get part of your money back, or none of it. I got a new item, which is always nice. And I can power up a new room. So what did we get? A rapier. That will be very good for Sarah. You can see, weapons are great. This one has a green outline, which means it's a little bit better than normal. I think blue is better than green. But still, look at that. More speed, 25 DPS. I mean, you know, not doubling her attack power, but certainly increasing it by quite a lot. 150% of her attack power, you know, more than that on her DPS, and less attack cooldown. So yes, you want to get weapons. They are really good. So we're going to just put a couple prods here in old Mormish's room, not power this room right away, and then start opening some doors over here. I don't have any industry left, so it's not an option for now. But I can power this room. Found another item, and nobody spawned that turn. I got a surviving kit. What does that do? Gives you more wit, more defense, and more HP regen. Wit, again, isn't something that we've come up against yet, but I do want more defense and regen for Mormish if he's going to be down there. And because Sarah is the fast one, if I run up against a situation where there's monsters headed for him, then I will just run her right down. Okay, here's a bunch of baddies. You see, this guy isn't the bounding one, he's a slow, big ugly monster. Okay, there's guys headed for Mormish down there too, good to know. So, let's pop this. He is another one that ignores us and heads right for the crystal. Mormish had the same down there, and I should have activated War Profiteer on him. Unfortunately neglected to, but that's okay. Looks like he handled everybody okay. And we're just continuing. I could build more major modules, and I may end up doing that, actually, but I think I'm progressing okay as far as they go. Great. Now, well, as soon as I get my bad self out of here, let's put a couple more prisoner prods in here. There's not enough people down here for me to worry about right now. There we go. Nice little two-pronged attack there. Yeah, let me go ahead and I'll get the Neurostun. That slows enemies when they enter the room. So that'll be real nice. It's good to put in rooms that also have things like your other attack modules in them, because then they take a long time to go through those rooms. Okay, does Mormish get something in this next level? He does not, so I might as well level up Max here. And you can see next level now, Max is going to get something fairly special. I know I've been building this up quite a bit, but I promise you it is really good. And I'm assuming that Mormish will at level 4 as well. Okay, what do we got up here? The Shanty Singer. Shanty Singer is also great. And it's good for Josh, because he's going to be up here as well. It just gives you a lot more max HP, and it gives you another passive ability, which is everybody in the room gets +7 defense. It's just you turn it on and everybody dances some sea shanties or whatever. Okay, and because Max is going to be up here by himself, let's just give him 2 more prisoner prods just for old time's sake or whatever. There's the exit. Monsters never spawn on the exit door, which is good to know. And there's the final door of this dungeon. I was kind of hoping it would be a bit bigger, if I'm being honest. Still, I got my Neurostun. And here come some jerks. Oh, look at that! It's one of the anti-hero guys. It's a bummer to see them. See that having a Hellway really does cripple the enemies by the time they get to the end. So there we go, a good second level. What can we get for my next research? You cannot, incidentally, start research at the end of a level, so that's a bit of a bummer. If, however, you happen to know that there's only 1 door left in the level, you can start the research, open the door, and then immediately we'll finish. Man, I've just got real butts choices here. I'm going to spend another 13, 16... Just nothing's good. Alright, next time I'm able to, I'm gonna spring for the Science Creator. So no remaining closed doors. But Science Creator 2 is exactly what you'd think. It just makes the Science Creator give you a bit more science per turn. Not that I'm exactly hurting for science even now. And honestly, part of me wonders if nah, I'll do that. I'll get the Science Creator. There's just a couple of attack modules that are so good, I always try to get them as early as possible. I would have loved to have had them by now, actually. What do we got here? A hand vacuum. That sounds like the kind of thing that Sarah's gonna get. It gives you more speed, and... Yes, actually, maybe I take that back. Maybe Mormish is gonna get that. I don't know if anybody's gonna get that, actually. It's really good. Pickpocket just means every monster you kill has more of a chance of... yeah, I'm gonna give it to Sarah. It hurts her DPS, but she has a weapon. It just gives you a better chance of harvesting dust from monsters that you kill. Okay, we are in luck this time because we have enough power to completely power our way this time, like to the exit. So it will be much more leisurely than usual to grab the crystal, make our way to the exit. So you can see that I never would have compared this to Duskers myself, but I can kind of see where people are coming from. I mean, it's all about exploration, risk, reward, and you do have to scavenge for resources. Also, the graphics are obviously much more of a point than in Duskers, but that's fine. Depending on what difficulty you pick, there's a variable number of levels. Look at that, I'm getting so lucky with dust. Okay, and now... Since the first couple doors tend to be fairly delicate, I like to have my whole pile of everybody. And hey, I'll take a sonic gun. Great. This is what either one of my attack boys wants. So, I'm gonna try to put Mormish more at the choke points. So let me give him the guns so that he can better attack. And hey, here's our crystal. Great to find early. I'll take that Science Creator too. There is a major module in here, which is great. So I'll throw up that food replicator. Move all of my boys in here, and put in a single prisoner prod. And then just explore a little bit down here, I guess. Well, I found Pat. I will be fully honest, I don't really care for the Team Fortress guys, so I'm probably gonna just ignore him. Unfortunately, there's probably some way to turn them off. But hey, there's a powered room. That's what I like. He's doing his best. He's attacking everybody that comes up. If you don't hire a hero, they stand there. They will heal after every turn, just like your heroes will. They will attack any enemies that come by. They probably will die. There we go. Let me level up Mormish here. And he is only one level, just the same as Max is, away from something good. Man, all these powered rooms. And next turn I will be able to afford that Science Creator too, so I'll put that in. Nice. Getting a lot of dust from the enemies too. I should look and see what kind they are. Okay, what's the next thing I can get? Okay, not my favorite, but I will take an upgrade to the Prisoner Prod. It just makes all of my Prisoner Prods that much more effective. And here is the final door in this area, which I will absolutely take that. Because now I've got a dead end in here, and so I don't feel bad about, for instance, again, my Science Creator. Okay, now I'm just kind of waiting out until... Actually, is there a spare major module slot over here? I think there's not. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, where to next? Let me head over this way, I suppose. Oh, a second Science Crystal. That's handy. Here it is. Oh, here it is. Tesla module, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting it right flippin' now. And just to head off the possibility that there's any monsters that would attack the Science Crystal, because there are some, few of them, but there are some, I'm going to... Oh, well, nothing for it then. Explore downwards as much as I can, but if that fails, then I've no choice. Ooh, Fred's Fixer, that's real good. So what are we looking like? We got 13 wit on Mormish, and we got 8 wit on Max. So Max is sort of our sluggard when it comes to wit, and Fred's Fixer gives you just a lot of wit. So let me give him that. And I also got this Briocopedia, which is more wit for repairing, and that doesn't really matter that much, that's fine. Right now he's got the Shanty Singer, so let me give him this surviving kit that ups his wit. It lowers the defense a little bit, but that should be okay. Honestly, with the regular module that I'm using, the regular escape pod, I do tend to go a bit more for attack modules than beefing up my heroes. I just found that that works better. Still, Autodoc is good. Autodoc shards give you a constant heal in the room. So if we get those, and then like the dust field, we will be pretty beefy. Hard to deal with. So let me throw up just a couple of those. And another 7 dust there. Here comes some more jerks. Yeah, they're just these little guys here, so not typically too much of a damage. One thing to note is that in these long rooms, your ranged enemies will attack monsters from very far away, and making them run all the way up here to attack you can be really handy. Your melee heroes, of course, will charge right in, but nothing to be done about it, I'm afraid. And here was really the last thing that I was hoping to show off. Also, oh, sweet mercy, the Tesla module. It's so good. Okay, what's the next thing I can research? I'll take a better industry generator. So, it's 7 units for a Tesla module, but it is absolutely worth it. These things attack just all enemies in the room, basically, and they do quite a lot of damage. And if you have a whole room full of these, most things when they're passing through are going to be dead. Like, you'll get massive hordes of enemies by the end, and so even with a lot of prisoner prods, you'll still only be taking down one enemy at a time. But with a bunch of... and the other thing that they can do is they will sometimes prioritize attacking this gross pile of stuff. Sometimes they'll prioritize attacking enemies that are, say, heavily armored, or otherwise very difficult to attack. Meaning, the ones that do a lot of damage but don't have a lot of health, by the time they get to you, are just going to wreck you because there's going to be 30 of them left. These guys attack everybody in the room, and so the weak enemies that are very strong just get run right over, and it's lovely. Okay, here we have the Merchant, if you have stuff that you don't intend on using too much. And I think, I'm going to sell the Shanty Singer. You can sell him He only deals in one resource, and it's randomized per merchant. So this one does science. There is also industry, food, and dust, which can be super nice late game. And he sells a variety of things, too. This one I haven't found to be that good. The radio, I know it costs a lot of money, but it's still not good. I might purchase a pea shooter, because that is a gun, and I think Max still needs a gun. Yep. That's good stuff. And if I get a little bit more science, I might come back for the guard uniform for Mormish, because he could use the defense, goodness knows. Tools belt gives you repair, which I already have on Sarah, so no need for 2 heroes with repair. During a wave, you won't really have time to be repairing, and after a wave, you get to repair everything for free. So, there's only one kind of hero, and we are about to find out, actually I'm going to wait one more thing, because he needs 52, and so very next room, we are going to level up Warden Mormish, and then enter into Phase 2 of the game, so to speak. No dust, I was hoping for some, but that's fine. Boom! Okay, Mormish now has this ability called Operate, and Operate is, in my mind, the most important ability in the game. It supercharges the production of a major module, and that is dependent on how much wit you have. The more wit, the more you supercharge it. So you see right now, we're getting 8 industry a turn. If we built another major module at considerable expense, we would get probably either 10 or 12 a turn, probably, I think, 10. But see, look, now we're getting 17 a turn. It really, really, highly increases the amount you get. So, there we go. More of those runners, more of the little spidery boys. Just taking him apart. Right. Put down another Tesla module there. And so, you can see now we're going to generate... take some tear gas. Tear gas is great. It lowers the defense of enemies in a room. And so you put that in a room with a lot of Tesla modules, and maybe a Neurostun, and nobody's making it out of that room. Self-powered is always nice. You can see in general, I know there's other strategies, but I've tended to, make it so that enemies are only coming at me through one direction here. So that I can pretty much maximize my minor module use. Okay, there's the exit. Am I researching things everywhere? I'm not. I could potentially be researching one more module. You want to get as many modules researched as quickly as possible for obvious reasons. I'll take a suppressive firebot. That gives attack power to all the heroes in the room. I don't know, again, that I'm going to be using these, but it's nice to have the possibility. You know, if it comes down to it and I just don't have... I cannot power one hallway and monsters are going to be coming at me out of it. I want to have the ability, at least, wow, look at that. She was in that room for 1 second and got a big chunk of her health torn off of her. And now, because the Hellway, one of those running monsters was pretty much dead when he got to this room. Otherwise, I couldn't have had Sarah in there. I would have had to have her run away. And even still, again, you see I'm getting all my health back after each turn. Let's put a Neurostun and another Tesla in here, which is the kind of thing that I can be doing now that I've got Operate. And as you may have guessed, Max will also get Operate. And here's the last door of the floor. So, just throw that down there. Oh, run, Sarah. Sarah, run. Look at that room, which is awful now. Max? Oh, no, I lost her. Yep. Wasn't enough. Absolutely was not enough. Well, that's a first playthrough here. Everything was going really well. That didn't need to happen at all, which kind of makes it frustrating. I just really should have beefed up the Hellway a bunch more. They can absolutely send a line at you like that anytime they want to. So I'm going to end that video for here. We'll call that an intro. And I'm going to record my next attempt and put that as a follow-up. You can watch that if you want. Thanks a bunch, everybody. This has been... I got pretty much everything out of the way that I wanted to show off. The rest of the game is just increasing challenges. So, yeah, there we go. That is Dungeon of the Endless.